What up? What up? What up? What up, world? Tap. It's the Monday jump off number 132. It's good to be back in your presence this morning. I'm a little sleepy, but still getting in. Had a beautiful, beautiful time this weekend. Was my Comedic New Year weapon pack. So to all the Comedic folks, salute. And happy New Year to you. To everyone else, it's just a Sunday. You probably was hanging out with your fam, as you should, and just relaxing, doing whatever. And that's always a good thing. Before I continue, I just want to get into some housekeeping things. It's a lot of new housekeeping going on. So as always, definitely check out www.portal.com. Put an access code Be Elite for 15% off everything you do at that wonderful facility. Shout out to the owner, Pamela. She's amazing. Definitely check her out. Check her out on Instagram and go enjoy yourself. I mean, you got hot tubs, cold plunge, PMF machines, dope cycling bikes, the ARX strength machines. It's just so much going on. Saunas. It's a great recovery and strength facility, and happy to be a part of that family over there. Real good people. Next, go to Elevate. Is in the description. Elevate, my link for Elevate. Click the link, get something off, or I don't know if you get anything off for Elevate. But it's just something to keep your mind going, keep you sharp, work on your math, your reading skills, speaking skills. It's just an incredible app, and you'll get better because the goal is to always get better, right? Next is I'm just flowing here, so I might get things out of order. Let's go to Red Feather Wellness. Great sister out of Connecticut, and she has great reflexology and counseling for women. Definitely check her out. Check that out. Link in the description. Then we have, I know it's like a nice long run-on sentence, but I want to make sure I get everybody. Ehab Consultants, dope sister out of the Carolinas, and she has a great consulting business. They travel all over the United States, even all the way to Africa. So it's an international and national team, and they just make things happen. They make job performances go up. So if you're just trying to get some good consulting work, check out that. That's in the link as well. We have Desiree Doulas. Also, she's out down south here in the Americas, and she's doing incredible work. And also, she does like hiking expeditions. So click that link, join in that wave of sisters over there. We have Medicine of Essence. She's out of like DC. She covers this northeast portion of America. Does pregnant woman massage. I don't know if there's a name for it, and counseling and doula work. Has an incredible team. They go from DC to Connecticut or what have you. So there you have it. And if you have any gut health issues, or you need a colonic, or you just need to talk to someone and just build your immune system up, start working on building your mental mind up. We have Life, Strength, and Health, husband and wife duo. I mean, just wonderful, wonderful people, super intelligent, just really well-rounded people, human beings, right? And I just wanted to shout them out because I just love everything they do, what they represent. Really wonderful husband and wife team. So definitely check them out. Last but not least, we have Bana Set out of Ohio right now. And she has her Comedic Wellness, and just working with sisters, solely that's her goal, to make Black women better. And I just think that's an admirable thing. So check that out. Check them out, So that's what I got. The the so-called infomercial, I guess, is going to pick up as I grow, and most importantly, as those who watch me grow as well, right? Whew, definitely dehydrated. As I was saying, Weekend was so incredible. I want to give a rest in peace to my homegirls, godson, good close friend of mine, sister of mine, Sek Ray. I salute you and your family going through this. That was very, hearing that news, such a young man, passing, and not, it's interesting. When I was younger, that you're being like 21, 22, you think you've grown, and then life moved forward, and you're like, wow, if something would have happened to me, I would have missed a lot, right? Like by just 27, I would have missed so much in my life. So I was already like traveling on road, etc., just really exploring life. And when I hear about young deaths, I always go, wow, now I understand why what I thought was like older people, right? Be like, wow, that was a baby, even though it's a man, but still the mind is still growing and advancing. And sometimes, the dreams and the potentiality of dreams, you'd be like, yeah, I think the sadness of that is just the newness of life that could have been brought into this world to make everybody better. So when I hear about things like that, it makes me sit back and be grateful for the life that I have and the life that many of my friends still have. But then I also think about my friends who didn't make it past like 15, 16, right? 17, 18. Um, just so much. You think you wild, you think you've grown, but you don't really think like, wow, I'm really technically just a very young baby, like I'm like a mature baby. And life really don't start until after like you develop, you're doing your thing or what have you. Until you like 27, life kind of hit. You'd be like, all right, cool. You like develop into like your own person, meaning like we already are who we were. Not saying we weren't our own people, but you just have something behind you, something to really get your feet stable. And I just, kind of saddens me that a lot of young people will never get to even get their foot stable in life to really, start putting their potential energy into kinetic things, to make the world greater in of itself and bring out those new ideas. I guess that's why they say all the best genius rests in the cemetery, So shout out to that king, and I send love and energy to your friends and your family that knew him, and just everyone else hearing this. It's just deep, when you reflect on time in life and how fast life can go. But then what you put out there, the sooner you put out there, kind of lives for all eternity, So, boom, I just was thinking about that. And also, I woke up with my Uncle James, rest in peace to my Uncle James, rest in power to my Uncle James. Such a dope man. And something he said to me, just moving forward, he's just like, I was a sickly kid. So I remember him just telling me, you can have a weak body because that can be built up, but you can never have a weak mind. You always got to be a leader. You always got to take those risks, and you always got to read, and you always got to write. Like he was really adamant about that. And shout out to my Uncle James. The reason, I wake up, make my bed, etc. And just, I just always wanted to say, he's an incredible man. He had like that old school, bass voice, not like mine's. Mine's is kind of like monotone. So if you survive and hear me speak, I just salute you for that. But my Uncle James' voice was just epic, and just the things he instilled in me, I'll just never forget. So I woke up with him on my spirit. Like he was just like, keep going. So that's what we doing, Uncle. We keep going. And I say all that to say this. Let's get into our read for the day this morning. Mastery. Now this book came out in 2012. So yeah, it's just a dope book. And I read it from cover to cover. as soon as it came out, as soon as I got it. And Mastery by Robert Greene, 50th Laws of Power with 50 Cent, 33 Strategies of War. You see me pull that out. The Artist Seduction and the 48 Laws of Power, that's the author. But this book here, I think he hit the home run. Even though all those other books are dope, I think the home run was hit with this one. This is old, it's beat up, it's traveled. But I read it back in 2012. Well, I even think I got like old New Jersey Transit ticket in here. So it's kind of cool. Right after, I guess, Valentine's Day that year. That's how it used to come up. So that's cool. But I wanted to get right into it, and it deals with the topic of the day. So I just woke up with that feeling. Let's see. Folks, it's like 4:46 in the morning, so work with me. All right, cool. And it's under the part, page 65, strategies for completing the ideal apprenticeship. It says, do not think that what is hard for you to master is humanly impossible. And if it is humanly possible, consider it to be within your reach. By Marcus Aurelius. Once again, it says, do not think that what is hard for you to master is humanly impossible. And if it is humanly possible, consider it to be within your reach. Throughout history, masters in all fields have devised themselves various strategies to help them pursue and complete an ideal apprenticeship. The following are 8 classic strategies distilled from the stories of their lives and illustrated in examples, although some might seem more relevant than others to your circumstances. Each of them relates fundamental truths about the learning process itself, and you would be wise to internalize. So that's the opening to that. But what I wanted to get to, I'm going to show you that I really read this book, though, all the underlined pages, that it's just not like a cliff note, right? So it says on page 84, think of it this way. There are 2 kinds of failure. The first comes from never trying out your ideas because you are afraid or because you are waiting for the perfect time. This kind of failure you can never learn from, and such timidity will destroy you. The second comes from a bold and venturesome spirit. If you fail in this way, the hit that you take to your reputation is greatly outweighed by what you learn. Repeated failure will toughen your spirit and show you with absolute clarity how things must be done. In fact, it is a curse to have everything go right on your first attempt. You will fail to question the element of luck, making you think that you have the golden touch. When you do it, inevitably fail, it will confuse and demoralize you past the point of learning. In any case, to apprentice as an apprentice as an entrepreneur, you must act on your ideas as early as possible, exposing them to the public. A part of you even hoping that you fail. You have everything to gain. Yeah, I woke up and that just kind of rang to me. Let me demonstrate my study skills. Go into my study skills. So people can see, like, it's mad outline pages. You really read books, really put it pen to paper. It's just what it is. So cover to cover, read, mastery, and just getting into that. So a lot of times, we thinking that everything is going to go well. Everything is going to be the absolute best, right? Like relationships. So we see the red flags. Let's talk about that. We'll see the red flags. We'll be like, flag up, flag on the play. But sometimes we go like, oh, that's the way they treated them. That's not the way they would treat me, because I do X, Y, and Z, and I'm really A, B, and C. So I can't see them being, D, E, and F. And you're definitely wrong for that, right? Like that wordplay. And I had to think about that in my own life because sometimes I'm dealing with people and I'm going like, well, I wouldn't move like that, so I don't have to worry about them moving like that. Come to find out, they DEF definitely move like that. And you're like, wow, that's heavy. And then it caused things to collapse, relationships, businesses to collapse, et cetera, et cetera. And that's all forms of failure. But then you learn from that, right? You learn to temper your ego, and you learn not to put your customs on others without learning their character, right? Like you can't you can't trace your code of ethics and character and just staple it to another person. That's something that you got to realize over time. And people always tell you who they are by their words, you know, and that's just what it is. And they show you who they are by how they treat other people, how they treat the waitress, how they treat the friend that that text them the address of the event and not send the actual invitation, how they treat the it's just it's just always those small nuances that sometimes we take for granted, and all that is just leading up to your ego being shattered and having to go to court over your child, because you thinking like, oh, they did say that, but they did that, and then you're like, whoa, that wouldn't be me because it can't happen to me. Then it actually happens to you, and you're like, oh man, that's crazy. I was just in my, I was feeling I'm feeling like a superhero, or you're feeling like a superhero, and it just happens, and then we end up being blindsided. But it must take full responsibility. Technically, universally, the breadcrumbs was left for you to pick up and to get that understanding earlier on. And so, therefore, not watching those breadcrumbs, as they say, got you almost put in the oven, right? So that's just how failure go too on that end. And also, when you're starting a business, if you never start, you never learn anything. You never learn to connect with anyone. You never learn to, branch out and link out and build up your community. And especially as an entrepreneur, you want your web spread long and wide and vast. And the more people that's dope, that really do what they say they do. And two, knowing when to come back. So if I ever say something on here, we'll give you a link or say, hey, check this person out, and they do you wrong, hit me up. I want to correct it. I want to get some understanding of the situation, because I'm definitely going to call them because I take accountability for anyone that I feel failed anyone. Even if it's myself, I would still come back and take accountability. That's how you can separate the, I guess, the scammers and the hustlers from people who really do good business. And always the goal is just to do good business, and do right by others. And that's always has to be our temperament. And that's all what I really want to attract to this channel. You know what I mean? Because you come on here and I interview you or whatever for like the Millionaires Crew Club, and we come to find out you scamming or hurting folks, we just go delete the video, and then I'll come on and I'll just talk about it and take accountability, because it could have been something I didn't do my full research. And the goal is you always want to research, but the people in these links, though, real solid, real solid folk. And I know you will have a good time with them because I know them personally, and I know many of them at least almost a decade. So we doing good, But yeah, there's no flower can be bloomed without no dirt, no rain, sometimes manure. But that's how failure grow you, toughens your spirit, your will. It gives you the ability to get up at these odd times and continue to do something and to grow something and to work behind the scenes to learn how to grow it and to, reach out to others that does it well, whether they respond or not. Like you're trying to master your new craft or master a craft or master your new position. So you got to read the books, you got to journal, you got to contact the people, you got to be in the know and be in the movement and not, put your head in your shell like a turtle and just keep pushing forward. So I say all that to say this: you're the king and queen in your life. Put your best foot forward and make the best of it. I'm Kapresh. It's the Monday Jump Off. Peace.